Today's Namaste Yoga is the third class in the cultural conditioning series, and we're focusing on our obsession with thin. Hello and welcome to episode 173 of Namaste Yoga. We're working through the cultural conditioning series, and today's class is on the cultural obsession with thinness. Yes, we are going there. I cannot tell you how many emails I get about requests about weight loss, which is, I totally appreciate that we need to be concerned about our health, but we're going to talk about why this obsession with thinness and weight is not healthy. We're going to talk about that today a lot, and we're going to refocus in on health and taking care of our bodies, because I'm totally all about that. But first, let's talk about why it's so dark here on April the 11th. It's snowing. It's snowing and it's dark and it's Canada, but seriously, enough. Are you gonna show them the snow, Tim? Okay. I'm gonna start with a testimonial today. This week's testimonial comes from Facebook from Dawn. She says, "Thank you, real yoga for real people. I had become sedentary following a debilitating motor vehicle accident in 2003. Sinus surgery, massive doses of prednisone, congestive heart failure, and a heart attack. Your anti-media, be perfect, look perfect, perform perfect, words of instruction have given me the confidence to move forward at my pace, being the best I can be, and on what I now realize is a lifelong pursuit." God bless you, Dawn. So this is what we're all about here. We are all about real yoga for real people. And as she says, we are about this anti-media, be perfect, look perfect, and beautiful bodies come in all shapes and sizes. So thank you for leaving your comments on my website and through YouTube, and your 5-star ratings on iTunes. And there are instructions on how to do that at thankyoumelissa.com. Thank you to Squeeze Yoga Clothing for our clothing. And today I'm wearing the Lakshmi tee, and this is brand new, available for the spring line. And I'm wearing it today because Lakshmi is the goddess of beauty, and she reminds us that beauty comes in many shapes and sizes, not just in the version that's presented to us in the media, which is a very limited version of beauty, and that true beauty radiates from the inside out. And through practicing yoga, we are able to access that kind of beauty. So we thank Lakshmi for reminding us of that. And thank you to Dusky Leaf for our yoga mats and accessories and blocks. And today we're going to need a bolster if you have one. We've got our gorgeous bolster here from Dusky Leaf, and our blocks if you have them. If not, you can roll up a blanket and you can use some pillows. And you're also going to need a yoga strap. And if you don't have a strap, you can always use the tie from your bath towel. Okay, let me show you the position that we're going to get started in so that we can contextualize our class for today. Okay, so we're going to start with recline goddess pose. The goddess is going to be a big theme in our class today, because you'll see in iconography and art, that the goddess comes in a much more robust shape than in media and advertising. So that's what we're going to connect with. So then in images of women in media and advertising. So we're going to start with the soles of your feet together. Your knees are going to open. You're going to place the blocks underneath your legs, and you're going to rest back over your bolster like that. So recline goddess pose to receive the teachings on our cultural obsession with thinness to begin. Cultural conditioning are the social processes in which authority figures such as parents, professors, politicians, religious leaders, peers, and the media define our values, beliefs, ethical systems, and ultimately the way we perceive ourselves in the world. Advertising is a $200 billion industry. We are exposed to 3,000 advertisements a day. They are quick, cumulative, and they appeal to our subconscious mind. Consciously, we believe we are not affected by these media images of the ideal body that tells us who we should be. And that's because they are designed to affect us at a subconscious level. Thousands and thousands and thousands of times a day. We are fish swimming in water, toxic cultural environment telling us that we need to be extremely thin. The only images offered to us in the media are of thin, young, white, perfectly groomed people. We are told again and again that our worth is dependent upon how we look. Celebrities are mocked in the media for gaining weight in cultural tabloids. The clothing industry celebrates a size 0. So you're only good if you're nothing. Models can't get any thinner. In fact, they are photoshopped to anatomical impossibilities. If you look in advertisements and in magazines, their heads are actually bigger than their pelvises. This is actually an anatomical impossibility. Your head can't be bigger than your pelvis. Look at magazines next time you flip through. The only body type that we see in the media is one that fewer than 5% of the population actually have. The focus on thinness that we are bombarded with all day long promises weight loss. But make no mistake, advertising is selling you drugs and diets, and in short, they're selling you products. They keep you depressed and scared so that you keep buying. It is more profitable for them when you have low self-esteem and feel terrible about yourself. This obsession with thinness affects all of us. Jean Kilbourne of Killing Us Softly, and I would recommend you check out that documentary. You can look it up on YouTube. And there's 4 versions of it. The most recent is version number 4. Says that it is a public health problem of unawareness. And it's up to us to disrupt the stories. Well, the good news is that yoga is all about awareness. Alberto Villoldo, the author of Yoga, Power, and Spirit, it's a translation of the Yoga Sutras, says, yoga was developed as a set of tools for releasing one from the suffering and achieving a state in which human and divine come together. It is up to us to release ourselves from the suffering we have been exposed to of inaccurate images of bodies in the media. Villoldo says, all forms of yoga share a common thread, which is to take us out of a profane existence and into a sacred relationship with life. We live a profane life when we simply do what is expected of us, striving to create what is expected of us, striving to create what our culture considers a proper life in the material world, unconscious of our spiritual nature. We can disrupt this craziness of what's expected of our physical bodies and withdraw to the inner world of spirit and grace. As yogis, it's up to us to wake up from this cultural trance. Book 1, verses 2 and 3 of the Yoga Sutras say, yoga frees you from the drama, the tragedy, the saga your mind creates, or the media creates, and allows you to experience your true self. It is time to free ourselves from the drama, the tragedy, and the tyranny of the media and advertising world of ideal bodies. Verses 3, 4, and 5 go on to say, your true self knows reality and does not confuse it with the twisted tales your mind spins. Some of these stories bring pleasure, some bring form. All are forms of fiction that distract you from the reality of your true self. Through awareness, we can remove ourselves from the twisted tales of the media and advertising and come to know the truth with a capital T. Healthy bodies come in many different sizes and shapes. Just look at Ayurveda. They have 3 different types of bodies. Kaphas tend to carry more weight on their bodies, and they are known as the most healthy constitution out of the 3 constitutions. Pittas are very athletic and muscular bodies. And Vadas are the most thin bodies, and they're known to be the least healthy of the 3 constitutions. Book 2, verses 10 to 11 of the Yoga Sutra says, weeds in the garden block you from samadhi, which loosely translates as peace. When weeds are merely sprouting, you can uproot them easily. Enter the stream of timelessness and observe the weeds wither and die. When your weeds are thick and deeply rooted, you must meditate. Only then will they cease to grow. Only then will they turn brown, decay, and return to the earth. We are dealing with a grossly overgrown infestation of weeds in the garden of our mind. And they're ones that the media and advertising has planted there. It will take withdrawal from the media and advertising and turning inwards with a deep level of awareness to remove ourselves from these images of so-called ideal bodies. Book 2, verses 54 to 55 says, when your mind no longer darts from one object to the other, which is the way your media has trained your mind to move from advertisement to advertisement, a bird alighting on one branch, then the next, then it is free to turn within, like a turtle withdrawing into its shell. This is called pratyahara. Attain mastery of your senses, and they will no longer pull you this way and that. Sights will no longer call you, yearning for your attention. Sounds will no longer beckon you. Tastes do not fascinate you or make you wince. You will experience yourself and the world as it is for the first time. So reflect on these teachings and see what stands out to you, and begin to set your intention for the class today. So once you've reflected on your own relationship to the cultural trance and obsession with thinness, and what it is you would like to receive from this class and these teachings, you can go ahead and wiggle and stretch out and bend your knees. You can bring them in and roll to the side, and you can put your bolster off to the side. You won't need your bolster again. And, well, you actually might use it again in Pigeon if you want, which is where we're going next. So come onto all fours. And let's just do a little bit of cat pose. Exhale, round. And inhale, arch. And breathe out, round. And breathe in, arch. Breathe out, round. And breathe in, arch. And then you can reach your hands forward slightly, tuck your toes under, breathe in, breathe out, and reach your hips up towards the ceiling. Come into downward facing dog to lengthen out through your spine. And from here, reach your right leg up, open up your hip, and bring your right knee forward to your right wrist, your left heel forward to your left hip bone. Reach your left leg long and behind, and then fold forward over your bent right leg and come into forward folding pigeon. So tune into your own physical body. Notice the sensations in your hips. Focus on your breathing. Notice what it is that from the inside out that your body needs in this moment. So this is the difference when you tune your senses inwards, when you close your eyes. So pratyahara means turning your senses inwards. You close your eyes, you close your ears. You start tuning inwards to the needs of your bodies. So rather than listening to the external demands, respond to what your body needs internally. And you respond to your body with loving kindness. You feed your body nutritionally dense food, clean food. And these aren't things that need to be marketed and sold to you. This is stuff that you can buy on the perimeter of the grocery store, or have it delivered to you by a food co-op. And then keep your legs where they are. Bring your hands back by your knees. And we're going to do a little twist here. So you're going to come to your open side, to your left side. Take your right elbow to this space here. Bring your palms together and come into a twist. And then we'll come back to the center and step back into downward facing dog. So I'm totally for treating your body and being healthy. I love nutrition. and eating nutritionally dense food and focusing on health. Take your left leg up. Bring your left knee forward to your left wrist, your left heel over to your right hip bone. Reach your right leg back and long. And fold forward over your bent left leg. So just before we came here, we filmed our new blog feature, which is Thirsty Thursdays. So we noticed that people were loving our smoothie videos and they're really commenting on my juicing photos. They want to know what's in them and they want recipes. They love recipes. So one of my passions besides yoga is nutrition. I love it. Ask my family. I just adore good nutrition. It's just one of my absolute passions. And so I think the thing, though, is that the focus is on nourishing your body and that the result is going to be different. The focus is going to be on health, not necessarily on having an uber thin body. So the result is going to be having a vibrant body and on having health and being disease free. And in the end, if we look at Ayurveda, there's always going to be three kinds of bodies. There's going to be kaphas who are going to have a sturdier build. And if you are a kapha, be thankful because you are a healthy constitution. And they're going to be pittas who are fiery and very strong and athletic builds. And they're going to be very muscular and strong bodies. And then if you're like me, you're going to be a vata. And we are just very skinny people by trade. And this is just how we were born. So there are different body types, and no amount of dieting is going to change your constitution. So I think the focus has to be on good nutrition and loving the body type that you have and appreciating your qualities no matter what. Okay, from here we'll come into the twist in the pigeon. So you're going to come into that open space there, place your left elbow, bring your palms together and rotate. So trust me, there are some drawbacks to being vata. We are very anxious people. We're very ungrounded. It's like we're just floating right off the ground. So I just love my kapha husband. He grounds me. Okay, let's come back to center. And you're going to step back into downward facing dog. Spread your fingers really wide. And, oh, that feels good. You got your hips all nice and stretched out. And from downward facing dog, you're going to make your way up to standing. Okay, so from standing, we're going to work with goddess pose. And this pose is just such a great pose to embrace a more full version of the feminine, because it's just goddess is just such a fuller version of the media versions of the feminine. So let's take our feet wide and turn your toes out. And you can squat down, keep your knees back, and bring your arms up. Nice deep breaths. So you can reflect on and think about the fuller versions of the goddess iconography in our culture. That don't necessarily come up in mainstream media and advertising. And then from here, we're going to take this into a twist. So take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. And you can just tuck your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. And then we'll go to the other side. So take your right hand to the outside of your left knee and tuck your left hand to your other thigh. And then come on up and release that out. And then we're going to do eagle's pose, because eagle's pose is about clear seeing. And if we look around us, we'll see that real bodies are not at all what they look like in advertising. Even if you were to see a celebrity or a model in real life, you would realize that they don't look at all what they look like in advertisements or on billboards. So these media images have been so highly photoshopped, they're just so not even in real life are these bodies that thin anymore. Okay, so let's do eagle's pose. So start on your right foot. So stand on your right foot. You're going to bend your right knee. Cross your left foot over. Hook it around. Find something to focus on that's not moving. Bring your right arm up and hook your left arm underneath. So eagles have fantastic vision. So this pose is about having clear vision, seeing the truth. And then release. And then we'll do this on the other side. So this time you'll stand on your left foot and you bend your left leg and you hook your right foot around and you bring your left arm up and you hook your right arm underneath. Okay, and then release. And shake it out. Okay, from here we're going to come down and we're going to sit down and do cow's face pose. Okay, from here we're going to do some cow's face pose. So I chose cow's face because cows just seem to be very docile creatures, very non-violent creatures, and also they're very much inward focused creatures. They're not too concerned about what's going on around them. They're very inward focused too. So we're going to cross your right leg over your left leg and bring your right heel up to your left buttocks. And if there's space between your right buttocks and you can always fill it with a block. So it's often helps to do cow's face if your knees are really high on a block, so that your knees can stack one on top of each other. If you need more of a stretch through your hips, you can move your heels out more. Be careful though, because if your hips aren't ready for this stretch, then it's going to go into your knee joint. So be cautious with this stretch. From here, you're going to bring your right arm internally, rotate it, bring it up your back, and then bring your left fingertips around to meet and straight up. Lengthen up through your spine. And if your fingertips don't meet, then you can use your strap here. Stay lifted and up through your heart. And close your eyes and allow your senses to turn inwards so you can focus in on your own heart center. Keeping your sit bones glued down your spine long, you can hinge forward through your hips here. And then hinge back up and slowly release. Okay, so take your legs, extend them out and shake your legs out. And then you'll take your self and we'll do the other side. So this time you'll cross your, oh goodness. What side did I just do? I'm going to do the other side now. I think I just did that side. I did. Okay, so now you're going to take your, oh goodness, honestly, this really shouldn't be that tough. You're going to take your Right leg on top of your left leg. No, I did just do that side. Switch sides. No, yeah, your right leg on top of your left leg. And then you're going to internally rotate your left arm, bring it up your back. Bring your left arm up and over. And bring your fingertips to match. And if you can't reach, then you might need your yoga strap. So on this side, since I'm mirroring you, I've got my right arm up my back, and so it's tighter. And I need my strap on this side. Okay. Taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths, turning inwards, closing your eyes. And then you're going to glue down your sit bones at the back and hinge forward through your hips. Stay long through your back. And then hinge back up. And we got one more. Release your legs and shake them out. And then if you've got your bolster close by or your rolled up blanket, you can grab it again because we're going to use it again. And I'm going to do turtle pose because that's like the quote, and I'll read it to you again. You're going to withdraw your senses inwards like the turtle draws its head into the shell. Really famous quote from the Yoga Sutras. So that you're coming inwards and you're getting all your information from inside rather than these 3,000 advertising messages that your subconscious gets bombarded with all day long. So you make that diamond shape with your legs. You hinge forward through your hips. And let's just twist it first to begin. Take your right hand to the outside of your left foot. Breathe in center. Breathe out. Rotate left hand to the outside of your right foot. And then lengthen up through your spine. Inhale. Exhale, in hinge forward through your hips. You can take your hands underneath your legs and fold forward over your bolster. For tortoise pose, close your eyes and turn inwards. And I'm just going to share with you that quote about the tortoise pose again here. When your mind no longer darts from one object to another, a bird alighting on one branch, then the next, then it is free to turn within, like a turtle withdrawing into its shell. This is pratyahara. Attain mastery of your senses, and they will no longer pull you this way and that. Sights will no longer call you, yearning for your attention. Sounds no longer beckon you. Tastes do not fascinate you or make you wince. You experience yourself and the world as it is for the first time. And then go ahead and hinge back up. And then you can rest back on your back for Shavasana. If you've got your bolster, you might as well use it for your Shavasana. Place it underneath your knees. You can go ahead and rest back. I'm going to share some closing thoughts from our opening as a way of reflecting back on our class. Yoga was developed as a set of tools for releasing us from suffering and achieving a state in which human and divine come together. All forms of yoga share a common thread, which is to take us out of profane existence and into our sacred relationship with life. We live a profane life when we simply do what is expected of us, striving to create what is expected, striving to create what our culture considers a proper life in the material world, unconscious of our spiritual life. Yoga frees you from the drama, the tragedy, the saga created by the media, and allows you to experience your true self. Your true self knows reality and does not confuse it with the twisted tales spun by the media and advertising. These are forms of fiction that distracts you from the reality and from your true self. Weeds in the garden block us from samadhi. When weeds are merely spreading, you can uproot them easily. Enter the stream of timelessness and observe the weeds wither and die. When the weeds are thick like they are in our culture, they're deeply rooted, then we must practice. We must practice our yoga. We must meditate. We must practice awareness. Only then will they cease to grow. Only then will they turn brown, decay, and return to the earth. So reflect back on this class and notice what stands out to you. What seems most important? How does it connect to the rest of your life? What's the life connection here? And what's one small thing that you're going to take with you as you move from the yoga mat today and out into this crazy world of inaccurate media images of bodies? Gradually allow your breath to deepen. You can wiggle and stretch out. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. Make your way up to sitting. Thank you for joining me for episode 173 of Namaste Yoga. Thank you for leaving your comments below. I read every single one of them and I respond to them as soon as I possibly can. I'll see you next week and I'll see you on the membership site. Namaste.